First and foremost, before we get started, I like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem, Rekakadash, and upon those great millstone, while unto his truth, and also to those elect that is scattered abroad. I like to say, Shalom, and come back here today with another great and powerful lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. The title of today's lesson is, though hand join in hand. So I like to say Shalom to all our listeners and learn. Hope this will help you today and guide you back in the path of righteousness and back to your true power, which in fact is Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. So before we start today's lesson, I have a quick Google search. What is Gillie? So it says here, it said Gillie arranges for a law enforcement official to train with foreign governments that engage in racial profiling, mass surveillance, arbitrary detention, and violence. And so when Gillie, it means Georgia International Law Enforcement Exchange, or some people say Global International Law Enforcement Exchange. So we knowing that this is what this is saying, that, you know, the Atlanta police, law enforcement, police department are training with Israeli officers, police, and also military. You know, they're constantly trading each other's idea. You know, they showing them how it's done in Israel, and they are showing them how it is done in America. So, hey, man, we're not ignorant of Satan's device. And also, we knowing that other nations around the world are in collaboration in this exchange, this Georgia International Law Enforcement Exchange, a Global International Law Enforcement Exchange, which in fact is called Gillie. So they're all in collaboration in case of some type of event or some type of terrorist attack, you know, or what, civil unrest, or what, civil war, you know. So we know we're coming upon these things. So we seeing that they're constantly bringing it forward. And also we know that Atlanta is the most surveillance city in America, you know. So also we already know that Atlanta is a test run for these smart cities, the 15-minute cities. So when you go into the acronym SMART, it goes into surveillance, monitoring, analysis, reporting, and also technology. So we already know that Atlanta is mostly mainly black, predominantly black people are staying right there in Atlanta, and also in Jackson, Mississippi. These are all test run 15-minute city or smart cities. So that's going to lead into this new reset that is getting ready to come into play. Also, this new digital society. So we got to always be watching, locked in, you know, focus what's going on all around, redeem the time while also be circumspect. So these things right here, you know, I seen this, and this is very spiritual. So we seeing that this Gillie program, or this, they call it Cop City, you know, whereby they want to militarize the police department. So we already knowing that it's already, you know, rumors UN troops are already here on American soil. So we already knowing about these mass large number of illegal migrants are coming on, because they've been a part of this program. We already knowing that the UN, Israel, and also these America law enforcement polices and many other departments are all in collaboration to what? To take down America. So we seeing that these things are constantly happening right before our eyes. You know, a lot of this surveillance is going to work hand in hand with biometrics. So we already know they get ready to set up this new world order. So we know this is coming into play left and right. So we seeing that these leaders around the world are traveling to Israel to train officers, you know, in the best way to how to police, have a police state, a police city, you know, a UN peacekeeping troops, you know, or they are called these a global police state. I'm trying to say it in a careful way. So you see what I'm saying? So this Gillie is going into those things. What are they preparing for? You know, what are they doing? What are they getting ready for? We knowing what they're getting ready for. This is what? Order out of chaos. We already knowing that this civil unrest, also civil war, rumors all over the place about that. So we seeing it as it's happening right before our eyes. A lot of things are happening all around the world. So these things gonna constantly pick up left and right. So I have a few short videos to bring it out with more, a little bit more clarity. And the title of the day video, once again, title of the day lesson, once again, Salakia, though hand join in hand. So I have a few short videos, and after the video, we will start the lesson, and I hope that you will get edified.
What is happening in Palestine unless you understand what's happening to Black Atlanta. You cannot understand what's happening to Black Atlanta unless you understand what's happening in Palestine. We have a Gillie Program, basically a global international law enforcement exchange. They're sending local police to go train with the IDF.
We have an active exchange program with Israeli police to help train and prepare the future cadre of the police leaders.
They are exchanging knowledge. They are talking to each other.
I visited Israel in 2008 with the Georgia International Law Enforcement Exchange and was impressed with several practices I saw during my visit, so much so that I implemented several here in Atlanta.
That's why we say Stop Cop City. That's why we say Free Palestine. That's why we say Black Lives Matter. That's why we say freedom now.
There's a program called the Gillie Program, and the idea is that you have Atlanta Police Department police officers that are being transported over to Israel to train with the IDF, right? The Israeli police, the Israeli military, and then they share tactics, right? So they share tactics that APD uses to brutalize and police and surveil black folks here in the United States and poor people here in the United States, and then they give those tactics to the Israeli police forces, and Israel gives the tactics of how they police, surveil, and murder Palestinians over to the Atlanta Police Department to export those practices over here. As a matter of fact, we talk about Cop City. One of the direct parallels between Cop City with Atlanta and Israel is that a lot of people don't know this, but there is actually a mock town a mock Gaza town that the Israeli forces use to practice their militarized urban warfare tactics. That's the same type of thing that they're trying to build here in Atlanta, right? So this is a direct parallel between the practices that are going on in Israel to the practices that are going on here in Atlanta. Another one is Operation Shield. A lot of people don't know that Atlanta is the most surveilled city in the United States. Where do they get those tactics for where to place those cameras? How to get the facial recognition software to be able to use to be able to surveil Black Atlantas here in the United States? They got it from Israel. A direct correlation as to how they share these tactics. So yeah, it's a program. It's very clear that what their intention is here, because we see what their intention is in Israel as they're committing their genocide on Palestinians right now.
Hey, good morning. So you want to know if they had anything to do with Cop City? Well, let's find out. In one, a two, a three. Three. You see, Israel has long been a U.S. ally, but Atlanta, they've had a special relationship with the country too. For more than 30 years, law enforcement leaders from around the metro area have traveled to Israel to train officers on the best practices in community policing and homeland security. It's through a program called the Georgia International Law Enforcement Exchange, or Gillie, based out of Georgia State University, and it's run by an Israeli man called Dr. Robert Friedman. So what's Gillie, you ask? Well, according to Bigotry and Brutality in Foreign Police Training, a comprehensive report on the Georgia International Law Enforcement Exchange, Gillie is a privately controlled and largely privately funded police exchange program. And according to its website, the program arranges for American law enforcement officials, corporate security executives, and others to engage in training, briefings, and seminars with foreign governments, including the Chinese, Egyptian, Hungarian, Kazakh, Uzbek, and Israeli governments. The last of which, the Israeli government, is the original and primary focus of the program. Since Gillie's inception in 1992, at least 1,600 participants have engaged in its training programs, including officers from the Atlanta Police Department. You can pause to read the rest if you like. Now, when Georgia-based officials travel to the Middle East for training, they study at least 28 different topics. And although Gillie has long refused to share the details about what officials learn through their programs, open records requests have forced Gillie to reveal that the 28 topics include border policing, community policing, and urban policing. the most recent delegation to travel to Israel. They traveled for 2 weeks in June, and that included 12 Georgia police chiefs and their command staff, 3 Georgia sheriffs, the former director of the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, and members of the Department of Justice, Georgia Public Safety Training Center, and Georgia Department of Public Safety. Oftentimes, the Gillie delegation will take trips to Israel to train on the ground, and some years, the delegation hosts Israeli officials here in Atlanta. And after taking the trip to Israel, the director of the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, Michael Register, wrote a letter to Governor Brian Kemp stating the program was one of the best leadership experiences he's ever had in his personal career. Here's a photo of Thompson Police Chief Courtney Gale. She was also on the trip to Israel. And Dr. Friedman, the creator of Gillie, he says that we've had all the chiefs of Atlanta police participate in it. So what does any of this have to do with Cop City? Well, according to Jocelyn James, Israel's Defense Force, the IDF, may become a component of Atlanta's Cop City thanks to the Georgia International Law Enforcement Exchange Program, also known as Gillie.
So you see, this is all coming down to the wire. So we seeing that, they are constantly training, constantly exchanging ideas, over in Israel, and they bringing them back over here. So we seeing how the border is constantly being flooded with these illegal migrants, what I call them undercover UN military aged soldiers. So we seeing that these things are constantly picking up. So the men of the Lord, we constantly warning you all these pending dangers that's coming upon us at a fast pace. And who are they getting ready to target? This Gillie program. They gonna target the Negroes, the Latinos, and the Native Indians. So hey, Jacob's trouble is getting ready to pop off. So we seeing that hey, the enemy is constantly getting busy. While you're sleeping, they're constantly rolling it out because the devil, knowing that his time is very short, he's getting ready to come down with great wrath. So now let's start today's lesson in Proverbs chapter 11, quick lesson through the Spirit. Proverbs chapter 11, we'll start up at verse 18. Proverbs chapter 11 and verse 18. And it reads, it said, the wicked worketh a deceitful work, but to him that soweth righteousness shall be a sure reward. Verse 19, as righteousness tendeth to life, so he that pursueth evil pursueth it to his own death. So one thing about it, he's setting a trap for his own self. He's getting ready to fall in that own ditch that he's laying these snares and traps for the children of Israel. But one thing about it, the Lord already said he will not be able to perform his enterprise. So we seeing that he's constantly working a deceitful work in collaboration with his allies. And one thing, even though joined hand in hand, we get that in a minute. Let's start back up at verse 20. It says, they that are of a forward heart are abomination to the Lord, but such as are upright in their way are his delight. Verse 21, though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished, but the seed of the righteous shall be delivered. So one thing about it, we know that we coming upon these perilous times. We know that Jacob's trouble is out there, the hour of temptation. And also we know that all roads lead to that grain of rice. So we seeing they constantly training, they constantly preparing for what? All hell breaking loose, order out of chaos. This civil war that is fast approaching us. A lot of people are still in what you call la-la land, still are playing games, but all the games about to be over. We're seeing that this red devil is constantly, it's trying to make things happen. So we're seeing that all these nations are in collaboration to take down America. And also, Atlanta is a 15-minute test run city, also a smart city. So we already know it's highly surveillance. So who they're watching? The Negroes, the Latinos, the Native Indians, also Jackson, Mississippi. These are just a few cities in the South. You seeing that it's coming together. Also we already know that FEMA will play a big part in this also, and the UN. So man, things are lining up just like clockwork, and one thing about it, we're being a watchman for Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua, warning you of these impending days. Though join hand in hand. Let's read this again. Proverbs 11 and verse 21 says, though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished, but the seed of the righteous shall be delivered. So the Lord, he will sustain us in these times of trouble. You know, we will be in the secret place of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh. So we seeing that all these nations are in collaboration with one another, even though they're joined hand in hand, being allies right now, but they will not go unpunished. The Lord's getting ready to judge this place. You know, judgment is now at hand. So, hey, we seeing the Lord's constantly making what Esau bearer and bearer. Hey, man, we seeing it. So let's go here to Psalm chapter 94. Let's go here to Psalm chapter 94. Let's see here. Psalm chapter 94. Psalm chapter 94. One moment. And we'll start up at verse 3. Psalm chapter 94 and verse 3. And it reads, Lord, how long shall the wicked triumph? Verse 4 says, how long shall they utter and speak hard things, and all the workers of iniquity boast themselves? Let's see what else we got here. So we seeing right now that the workers of iniquity, they are working overtime right now. They are boasting. They're constantly speaking great words right now. All sorts of abomination, all sorts of what unrighteous decree that they have authorized or prescribed. They're constantly slipping things in left and right. We knowing that this order out of chaos, you know, they are ready, locked, ready to go. You know, we seeing that the wicked constantly is plotting against the just with their military might. We're seeing it. Policing. They trying to make this place a police state. You know, they want what? Total control. You know, so with the UN peace scheme, where will be no peace. The UN troops going to come in here and tear this place to pieces. So we're seeing that this is happening, you know, right before let's start back up at verse 4 again. It said, how long shall they utter and speak hard things, and all the workers of iniquity boast themselves? Verse 5, they break in pieces thy people, O Lord, and afflict thy heritage. Verse 6 says, they slay the widow and the stranger and the murderer and the fatherless. So let's read that again. Psalm chapter 94 and verse 6 is that they slay the widow and the stranger and murder the fatherless. That's talking about what Israel, you know, so we are the fatherless. We are the stranger. You know, we're in this strange land. We are, you know, in a land of our captivity right now. So we seeing right now these things are constantly playing out right before our in the middle of the Lord. We're constantly warning you left and right, whether you will hear or whether you will forbear. Verse 7 says, yet they say, the Lord shall not see, neither shall the power of Jacob regard it. Hey, but one thing about it, they're in for a rude awakening. The Lord see everything. And one thing about it, we're in that transition to power, and the Lord's constantly visiting the earth that he created. He's constantly moving the chess pieces around. Things are increasing. Things are getting ready to escalate. We see that we're coming upon this a time of trouble that we've never seen before. Tribulation, persecution, mourning, sorrow, death and destruction is right before us, you know. So we seeing that we're here, and our salvation is very close at the door. And the Lord's constantly removing the covering cast, all the lies and the deception. We seeing it happening right before our eyes. So let's go here. 2 Corinthians, quick lesson through the Spirit, just rolling in the Spirit. 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11. And it reads, said, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we're not ignorant of his device. So, you know, we already know the physical counterpart of Satan is the modern day so-called white man, the devil that the Bible speaks of. He's trying to get that advantage. We're seeing this Gillie program that he's putting in place. Also other type of executive orders that he's trying to bring forth this digital society, that grain of rights. You know, he's trying to get that advantage to stay in power. But one thing about it, we already know that the Lord's getting ready to cut him out. Who is not ignorant of his device? Those are the prophets, the true believers of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh. What device? His mindset, his agenda, his plan, his plot. What is that? The NWO, the New World Order. He wants total control, track and tag everyone on the planet. You already seeing test run in Atlanta, test run in Jackson, Mississippi, just to name a few, you know. So we seeing that they setting them all up, you know. So it's already testing and training going on in Israel and other nations in collaboration, and also these these illegal migrants coming in. All of them going to be in collaboration to take America down. Jacob's trouble, it is at the door. This is what they want: civil war, civil unrest, city against city. We seen it happening right before our eyes. We're not ignorant of Satan's devices. Here, one thing about it, amen, the prophets, we constantly warn you left and right, man. The Lord is constantly shedding light on all this wickedness, and the Lord is getting ready to put a stop to this all. We cannot wait. The kingdom of heaven is fast approaching. So now, let's go here to 2nd Ezra. Let's go here to 2nd Ezra chapter 16. 2nd Ezra chapter 16, and we'll start up at verse 6 to 8. 2nd Ezra chapter 16 and verse 6 to 8. He said, For behold, a burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you, and feed you, being idols, with things offered to idols. So we already that great multitude. You're seeing all these migrants. We're seeing all these different nations around the world constantly coming into America, Babylon the Great, in collaboration. We already know what's getting ready to happen. Take over invasion of America. That's what's getting ready to happen. A lawless time. And also feed you thing being idle, which in fact that grain of rice, that MOTB, shall go into your right hand or your forehead. So we seen that it's happening. It's also we know that they coming with these 15-minute cities. Also they coming with these FEMA camps, also these guillotine. A lot of things are coming. Persecution of the saint, famine of the world. A lot of things are coming down the pipeline. Hey, got to get it wise hot. Seek the Lord while he can be found. Verse 69 says, and they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and reproach and trodden underfoot. So one thing about it, be a part of this new society, this cashless society, this digital society, this society that will be under surveillance, monitoring, analysts, reporting, and technology, smart city, 15 minutes in order to be a part of this, and if you trust or you lean or depend on this system, it shall go into your right hand or your forehead. And one thing about it, you will be totally destroyed. When you go to Revelation chapter 14, you will have to suffer that second death, when in fact it's the lake of fire. What is the lake of fire? America, Babylon the Great. This place is going to be set on fire. And we cannot wait through the spirit and power of Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua. So we seeing, hey man, right before our eyes, they constantly bringing forth this new police state, this new what you call totalitarian law, this dictatorship, so we seeing it happening right before our eyes, total control. Verse 7, for there shall be in every place and in the next city a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. Verse 7 says, they shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. Who are that? Those are the elect, the true believers of Yahweh. By Hashem Yahushua. We already know they're gonna come at the saints. But one thing about it, the Lord says he's gonna lift up that standard. Supernatural intervention is getting ready to come into play. Also, the archangel of Michael is getting ready to come into play. So the Lord is gonna dispatch angels, a fleet of chariots. The Lord's going to help us out in ways that we know how, that we do not know how. And also, that the UFOs are all over the place. So we seeing this happen. So when they come in here, they're going to be like madmen, sparing none. Children, young children, newborn children, young and old women. They don't care. Raping, stealing, robbing, all these things going to be happening. The insurrection, all sorts of chaos. That's what they want. But one thing about it, they're in for a rude awakening. The Lord, the one that fear the Lord, is the elect. The Lord said he will deliver us, he will provide for us, and he will sustain us in these times of trouble that's coming upon Jacob's trouble, the hour of temptation. Verse 72 said, for they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their house. So it's going to be a food shortage. People going to be in what? Poverty, homelessness. So no people will have no type of resource. It's going to be, a great desperation and sorrow. Verse 73 said, then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire. So we're going to go through these levels of adversity, this what you call the straight gate. Lord is going to purify us through all these adversity, to constantly, to make us strong. The Lord said, they'll make ye ready to the battle, and even in those evil, be like pilgrims upon the earth. So the Lord is going to be directing us spiritually, so we trust and believe in the Lord. The Lord is going to direct our path. The Lord is going to see us all the way to the finish line. He will not forsake us. He will never leave us, so we're getting tried right now. It's gold, it's tried in fire. And they going to know who the Lord is dealing with in that time of trouble. We're going to get beamed up on those chairs right before their eyes. And right before what? The great and glorious return of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. Our salvation is at the door. Verse 74 said, hear, O ye my beloved, says the Lord. Behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. So the Lord is going to deliver the house of David, the true believers of Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua. So the Lord's getting ready to do a mighty work. The Lord is getting ready to show up with great glory and great power. So even though they're constantly in collaboration, we're seeing that they're constantly joined hand in hand. It will not work. The Lord's getting ready to come back and cut all of this off. We cannot wait, man. The Lord is getting ready to do a mighty work. Come out of her, my people. This is not your rest. Come back under that total subjection to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. So now let's go to our last and final script. Let's go here to Isaiah chapter 59. We'll close out here. Isaiah chapter 59. One moment. Isaiah chapter 59 and verse 19. We'll close out right here. One moment. 59 and 19. And it reads, says, so shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west, America, Babylon the Great, and his glory from the rising of the sun from the east. So the Lord said, look for the what? The brightness of his coming. The Lord's coming that great fathership with great glory and great power. So when the enemy come in like a flood, these what? Russia, China troop in collaboration with NATO, and also these illegal migrants that we're seeing right now, it's going to be totally chaos. It says when the enemy come, when the enemy shall come in like a flood, what is that? A military flood, a storm, military storm. The Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him. Or what? Supernatural intervention is getting ready to come into play. A way to escape. So certain men on this planet is going to get that spiritual power, to protect that great remnant, that great multitude that the Lord is coming back for. So we in some amazing time. We're in some exciting time. The Lord is getting ready to show up. The Lord is getting ready to perform his enterprise, which in fact is the kingdom of heaven that dwells in righteousness. So we're seeing that we got to go through this last and final conflict, which in fact that last and final war, which in fact is World War III. Through much tribulation, ye shall enter the kingdom of heaven. So we're seeing that they constantly are joining hand in hand. But we're not ignorant of Satan's device. And also the Lord's constantly making Esau bear and bear. Shameful experience is upon his glory. We're seeing it happening right for our eye. Say the end of what? Empire. This is what? Revised Roman Empire. It's right at the end. We cannot wait. We're at the end of this thing. DTA. A ball, down with Babylon the Great. Because one thing about it, their downfall is, is our what? Exaltation. The Lord's getting ready to set us back in our first estate, immortality, rulership, spiritual power, dominion, power over the nation. That's what we're waiting on. We're ready to rule. Hey, man, one thing about it is that, hey, the Lord's getting ready to return. And we constantly warn you, left and right, seek the Lord while he can be found. Either you will hear or either you will forbear. So the title of the daily lesson, once again, is though hand join in hand. So I like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushua, by Hashem, Rikakadash. I like to say, Shalom, Shalom.